Welcome friends, it's Monday morning, this Wednesday, why? I forgot where it's at. Okay, so Wednesdays, I wanted to share about microgreens, kale, and spinach. So I enjoy having a smoothie every morning, and the reason being is I can just pack a lot of nutrients in there, and also have my protein, and it keeps me kind of energized and have lots of energy throughout all my morning. And sometimes it's like, oh shoot, I got to stop working and have some lunch. So it really sustains you all morning. So have you ever wondered, or a lot of people say, okay, you need to get more veggies in your food, in your diet, in each day. Well, how do you do that? Well, one of the things that I have discovered is microgreens. And so a lot of times you can buy, kind of like a microgreen kit that I bought. And so you can just, kind of grow them that way. And it's really easy and fun to watch them grow. And then you just kind of cut out each one and put them in your shakes, and you put them in salads, put them in soups. And they really have really dense nutrients because they're just the sprouting of things. So this one, you have sweet peas, you've got broccoli, you've got bok choy, and so you're gonna have lots of different seeds that you can do that are microgreens. They don't just be alfalfa sprouts that we used to have, but you can do lots of different shoots and then cut it out and put them into your different foods as just kind of a topper, and it really helps. But I put them in a protein shake, and that really helps. But I realized that I'm doing something that I think is like, oh yeah, everybody probably knows this, but I mentioned it to something and they go, oh, that's a really good idea. And I'm like, okay, this is one of the things I gotta share. So how do we get more vegetables and into our diet every day? So one of the things, besides putting in the shake, that's one of the things that I do, but I found a way to do it very easily. And so what I do is I take and I cut up beets. Now, beets are really good because they have a lot of nitric oxide, and you hear that a lot because it helps with weight loss. You also get nitric oxide by exercising. But it's good to add more nitric oxide. So a lot of times you'll have beet powder that people add. Well, why don't you just add the beet itself? You don't have to go through all the processing and pay somebody else. So what I do is I cut up beets and I put them in like a Ziploc bag that is like a quart size, and I freeze it, and then I take 2 out every day and put it in my shake in the morning. Turns it a nice red color. Is that helpful? So another thing that you can do is you can take spinach and kale. And so what I do is I take the spinach and I wash it, organic spinach, and I wash it and kind of dry it. And then I actually pack them in bags that I am going to put here and freeze. And so I just put the serving size that I want, and I put them in individual bags and then put those in a bigger bag and freeze that in the freezer. And so every time I make a shake, I take out one of the kale and one of the spinach, frozen, and put it in my shakes. Now, the reason I do that in individual baggies is because I learned that when you, let's say, fill a gallon-sized bag of all the spinach, that sometimes taking it in and out of the freezer, by the time you get to the very bottom of the bag, that has created mold. And so it starts going bad. And so then you throw out everything and it's like, well, I don't feel very good on this, and so I'm not gonna eat the spinach. And how do I know that? Personal opinion, for the reason I did it. So there's a lot of times I didn't add more vegetables to my shakes because that was happening. So by doing it in smaller baggies, that has solved the problem. So it's a good thing to do for spinach and for kale. You can also do it for cilantro. I'll get to that in just a second. But spinach and kale also has something called oxalates. And so it can impact certain people because oxalates, sometimes they don't digest very well. There's kind of the issue of, should you eat kale raw or, cooked a little bit? So you have to find out what works for your guts. I think it's very interesting that some people really like raw broccoli and some people don't. My son loves raw broccoli. I do not. And what I learned is that you actually have certain enzymes that make you want to eat more foods that are raw versus ones that are cooked. And so when I found that out, it's like, oh, okay, there's just a difference in how our bodies are made. Sometimes they say like people with like cilantro, other people don't. It's because of those kind of the different tastes that you have and enzymes in your body. So we would find out whether your body is good on having the kale and the spinach. It's also, oxalates impact the kidneys. And so a lot of times you may be having kidney issues, and that's why you're bad on it. So again, find out what the root cause is so that we can help you get better. Going back to cilantro. Cilantro is good to add because it helps get rid of heavy metals in the brain. And so that's a good thing to add to your shakes to help with that. And by doing it in little baggies with just a couple sprigs will do the trick, and then it won't go bad and give you a headache, which I also have had a lot. So, all right, and the last one that I wanted to tell you about for adding to your shakes is Wyman blueberries. A lot of times you can get this from Whole Foods, or you can get them from a health food store, but Wyman's is specifically a blueberry that comes from Maine, and it's a wild blueberry, and it has been shown to help get rid of heavy metals, and so it's really good to have that. So if you're wanting to detox those heavy metals in your body, staying on Wyman's blueberries are really helpful. So I'm Jody Colegrove, and I help you discover that root cause of your health issue, so you can finally get your find out answers on what's going on, so that you know, okay, well, why are my kidneys having an issue, or why can I not eat, raw broccoli? I don't feel good, I don't like the taste. But we get to the root cause of what your symptoms are and what you're dealing with. So when you know that, then you can get answers on why something is impacting you a certain way and why you have those symptoms. And that gives you clarity. You're like, okay, now I know where I can go. And then you have energy because you know that that information is not just a mystery. So then you have clarity, you have energy to be able to do it, take care of the things that you need to do. And that just gives you so much peace because you know, hey, I'm headed in that right direction, getting back that health that I want. So I hope that helps you today. Let's see here. So a couple other things that I want to mention is so important to start out your day with good nutrients. And sometimes, you want to do the fasting, and that's good, intermittent fasting, but also it's important to not do that every single day, but to vary it up. And so I usually recommend to my clients that if they have any kind of low blood sugar issues, to make sure you have protein within 30 minutes of rising. And so that can just be like 4 different, just a little handful of nuts or something like that. I personally like to have Brazil nuts in the morning because it has selenium in it, and that helps with your immune system. So that's really helpful. So, but just eating something within 30 minutes keeps your blood sugar high all day so you don't crash. It really helps you have that nutrients that you need in your body, and keeps you from not having too much loss of energy and getting hungry throughout the day. So I'd love you to join my Facebook group, which is Holistic Health for Christians, Tapping, Toxins, and Trauma. So those are all things that we're able to take care of that you're dealing with. So hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Blessings.